Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday for you. Those of you in the United States, happy Memorial Day, day off. Um, Celebrating those who have sacrificed. We appreciate that. I am so excited to do another live hot seat coaching session with all of you, or having you all join in. So the reason we've been doing all of these live hot seat coaching sessions is to give you a tiny sliver of what you can expect when you work with me one-on-one or you join the Human Design Accelerator. So we've called it the Human Design Accelerator because it is really couched around utilizing your human design to know yourself better, to trust yourself, to build a foundation within yourself, a healthier relationship with you, which is the most important thing, healthier relationships with others, and also what your own unique superpowers and strengths are and how to utilize those in the world, especially in the workspace. And so I have had some friends, some former clients, some current clients come on. We're going to be doing a little bit more of these as well, and practicing what this looks like live, and also doing some subconscious reprogramming, because we will be doing that inside the accelerator. Subconscious reprogramming is such a powerful tool to combine with human design because it's not about mindset, it's about shifting yourself on a subconscious neurological level. And today I get to bring in my friend and one of our Spark members, and also one of my team members for the Costa Rica retreat, Melinda. I'm so excited to introduce you to Melinda. Hello.
Hello. Hello,
How are
hello.
you?
I am fine and dandy, thank you.
Good. I am so glad. Really excited that you wanted to pop on and do this fun session with us today. Really quickly, will you just tell folks who you are and what you do? And you guys are gonna see more of Melinda because we're collaborating on the retreat. So
Hi, everybody. I am, let's see, who am I? What am I? Um, I'm in Connecticut right now. I spend some of my time in Maine on an island. I've been an educator for probably about 30 years, founded a small experientially based school to make the middle school years amazing and have seen kids' lives transformed, and that brings me lots of joy. I now work as a travel advisor and experience builder for all sorts of people that want to get out into the world, and I call it With Heart Travel. So I put my heart into what I do, and I feel like travel is just a way to connect and build bridges and break down barriers and provide a way to, open up in lots of mind and heart, I suppose. Yeah.
yeah, I love that. And
That's a
so,
snippet.
Melinda, you are currently in a transition period, moving from educator fully into travel. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm still running the learning center. It's called Connecticut Experiential Learning Center, and I intend to have that connect with the travel because it's a 501c3. So that's another part of the dream, is to allow people that maybe could otherwise not
Mm.
afford to travel to have experiences, to continue to do service learning. And so connecting both of those things, but really a full-time kind of experience builder.
I love that. Full-time experience builder. What a great term to give yourself. Because experiences can be all sorts of things. And I love
Mhm.
that. I love that. So can you tell me what the one specific thing is that you want to focus on in this short amount of time that we have here together today?
Sure. I think that when I ran the school, I had a colleague with me, and I think we balanced each other out so that I have these big ideas, and she helped to sort of say, okay, do this, 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 and then you get from here to there. And so now I'm more, unto myself at this point. So ideally, I'd love to have a team, but right now, I think what's happens is I have too many things that I'm trying to do at once. So I bounce around a bit, maybe more than is healthy. And the other thing is, I start to lose my courage or my brave to just go
Mm,
for it. And something inside says, I know that I have something valuable to give, but it's really tapping in on that to let it live and to be able to live my best life as well. So I'm not feeling like at this age, which is, just turned 60, kind of working all the time. I want to also
yeah.
feel like life is, starting to open up so that I can live my dream, without feeling like I'm putting all the hours
Yeah.
and time into it. So, finding that
Yeah.
balance and honing in on how to stay focused and trusting that, what I'm focusing on is leading to what this bigger picture kind of vision is.
Mm. And that's so fascinating to me. First of all, I love all of that, wanting to rest more, to have things just work to make a bigger difference in the world. And I'm going to share your human design chart now with folks. So I happen to already know this, but Melinda, you are a projector. And it is such an interesting listening to you talk about this. First of all, just kudos for being in the space of reinventing how you do this, how you show up in the world, how you can share your gifts with the world. So, for those of you who don't know, or even for those of you who do and need a reminder, projectors, which is what I am also, we're literally here to guide and lead. And obviously, Melinda, that's exactly what you're doing. And sometimes how we do that needs to shift for a multitude of reasons. And so it's beautiful. This work feels really aligned, but surrender and rest is a key component
Mhm.
in making life work for us as projectors. And in a world that is built for generators, it's sometimes really, really hard to let go and surrender. So
Mm.
what would you say is your biggest obstacle as you're making this transition? Is it a particular thought? Is it like what's blocking you the most?
You know, the sort of the technology and the way that we're supposed to be in the world right now isn't
Mm,
really my natural tendency. I would much rather be at a campfire and connecting with people and being, out in nature. So
mm,
figuring out how I can share who I am and not feel kind of embarrassed or, self-doubt about getting myself out there,
yeah.
and what that looks like. And there's just so
What
many
have
people that I feel like have it together with that, and it's like, "Okay, well, it's flying by me,
oh.
how do I catch that train?"
And are you talking about specifically technology and being online when you say that?
Yeah, yeah, marketing and promoting and staying steady with
Mhm,
that,
mhm.
yeah, yeah, if we could
What if
only,
I told you that what you perceive to be everyone doing it really well is usually most people just trying shit and seeing what happens. Most of us don't have the answers.
Mhm, mhm.
Hopefully that helps. Does it take a little pressure off? Um,
Yeah, yeah, and I know that's true, and, I'm a spiritual person, and I really believe we are spirits within a body, and that we're here in this
yeah,
human form, and that we're really much more connected than we, all believe, and, getting caught up in sort of our thoughts creates this reality that's very limiting, and
yeah,
so
absolutely.
yeah, and but I think I need patience maybe a little bit because I feel like once I have this idea, it should happen instantly, and, if it's
Yes.
not,
So
I
that's
feel like I've failed somehow.
Yeah, I love that you said that because that's actually what I specifically pulled out of your chart to share with you today is that you are what's called an emotional projector. So, if your emotional solar plexus is defined on your human design chart, your authority for anybody who's watching or listening is your emotional solar plexus. That means that you are absolutely not designed to make quick decisions. You ride an emotional wave and you need to let that wave roll all the way out and come all the way back in before you do something.
Hmm,
And it's really tricky
yeah,
because we think we're supposed to be quick. Now, I have a splenic authority. Mine is quick, and
mm,
it's a very different process than it is for you or somebody with a defined solar plexus. And
hmm,
your um, particular wave is what's called an individual emotional wave. So it is
hmm,
for you. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. And you are going to travel from one end of the emotional spectrum all the way to the other. It's going to be a really big high. You're going to be really excited. And I actually think that in the last year and some months that I've known you, I've seen you do this.
Yeah.
You're going to
It's
get
not
really
easy.
excited. You're going to be really high. It's not easy. And then it's going to feel really low and the bottom is falling out. And so it's absolutely crucial for you to wait until you've gone through that whole wave before you take action or make a decision. But
Wow.
there's a particular grace
Mhm.
and a particular awareness for you specifically in this individual emotional wave. There's very powerful wisdom for you in the low end of the wave. So the
Hmm.
part that literally feels like the bottom is falling out. If you can allow yourself to sit in that and surrender to that and be reflective in that and not take action until you've processed that, you're going to get immense amount of clarity.
Hmm. That's amazing that you've keyed in on that. I mean, it really is because that's exactly what I can consider a few situations that I think people thought I was crazy because I would make a decision and go all the way, and you might have experienced this with me too, but it's like this strange thing that happens, and
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
it's I you know, it's I don't I it's really strange. So to learn how to wait, to learn how to like, if that process could be like, okay, that's gonna be like 30 minutes, like, you know, contractions almost, it's gonna go away in a second.
Yeah,
How long
and
does it
usually it
take?
can take, it's usually about 24 hours, really. You should give yourself 24 hours before you make decisions. The key for you is not don't decide when you're super high and excited, and don't
Yeah.
decide or change your mind when you're like, "Oh my god, what have I done?" Like, let it all ride. You can journal it all. I mean, you're a
Mm,
Spark member. Use your Spark
mm,
prompts each week to sort of dig in, because what those prompts that I pull are from human
mhm,
design transit, so there's extra layers of energy that's open to you that you don't always have access to. And so you can get all your thoughts out and then process them and then hopefully feel really good about it. The other thing that's fascinating, and I'm curious, you are a caves environment. And so
hmm,
I'm wondering if you already know about yourself that dark, quiet, small spaces help you be more creative, be more in touch with yourself, and be more intentional. Do you know that
I
already?
I've loved going into, sweat lodges, and I've been told that I was an Indian chief in a past life, and I've actually
Cool.
been in caves, and it's very comforting.
Yeah. So that tracks completely. So when you need to tap into a decision, or you need to get something done and feel more creative, or you want to nurture yourself, you can create a cave. I have a caves, actually I have two caves daughters, and I didn't know about this when they were
Mm,
little, but from the time they were small, one of them would crawl under a table or
mm,
go under her bed, or they both tent themselves, right?
mm,
Because they're creating that safe, dark space. I have a client who I've worked with for years, and but long before I'd gotten certified in human design, she is a tent that she puts on her side of the bed. She's married. It's just on her side of the bed. She
mm.
sleeps in a black tent. And I'm
That's
like, well, it
amazing.
tracks because you have the caves environment. Um, so,
Wow.
you can allow yourself to go specifically to a cave or create a cave like space,
Hmm,
especially when you're struggling with, okay, so how do I show up authentically in this transition in order
mhm,
to create experiences that enrich people's lives,
mhm,
but also I don't know all the things, and I don't know what I'm doing.
mhm,
I feel so out of my element, right?
mhm, mhm.
Yeah. The other
Do you think
thing,
that
and I
our
love this.
mind sorry,
Yeah, go ahead. No, ask your
getting
question.
it all out onto paper, like all the ideas is helpful? Just
So
this kind of
That's
mine.
a great question. Are you a journaler? Do you enjoy journaling and writing things out?
I do. I tried to make a sort of a mind map the other day, and it was that got me frustrated because it, like, became this thing that didn't feel right, you know? So it's like those processes can be great for some people, and it feels like I do wanna download, but my style of sort of note taking, like, it could be a Sark, you know, that journal that's this woman made?
Uh-huh. I
It's
do.
sort of like
Yeah.
freehand journal, you know, maybe that's where this
Yeah.
could go 'cause it but it
You're
yeah.
super visually creative. So yes, I love that. Yes, you could write it down in a journal, you could bullet point, you could free write, you could mind map, you could draw pictures if you're a doodler. I don't love any of those things. I
Mhm.
typically am I voice record. That
Mm,
helps me. Or I talk to somebody who's not gonna give me advice, but they're just gonna listen and
mm,
let me get it out because usually we know our answers, we just need to get them out in some form or
yeah,
fashion.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and I have a lot of clients who use me in that way as well, and then we can
Same.
ask some questions and get creatively doing that in the accelerator for sure.
Mhm,
Um, so yes, getting it out of your mind and into the world in some way, whatever way works best for you, is absolutely crucial. And Melinda,
mm,
you're a 1-3 profile line, and I am too. And so I love being a 1-3. The one is inquisitive. If we want to know
mhm,
something, we either don't want to know at all, or we want to know and we want to know it all, and we deep dive and we got to know right this instant, right? Got to know everything about it right now. And the 3 is the process of trying and failing out loud, trying
mhm,
new things as much as possible whenever we're curious and talking about it as we're
mhm,
doing it, and
mhm,
that helps us connect. And I can really see that certainly as an educator, but even with travel and creating these experiences for people, um, I wonder how often are you just out doing the thing and inviting people to do the thing with you without thinking you have to have it all together and buttoned up and in place before you start.
mm. When I'm out doing the thing, I think that's I'm at my most aliveness, and I
Yeah.
love, you know, organizing groups and being with groups and being out in the world, you know, doing that. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So according to your chart, I would think that if you could find a way to do the thing and invite people to do the thing with you
Mhm,
before you have all of it put together,
mhm.
that's gonna help you connect with people and really grow this foundation. How does that feel?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, and, you know, I've got some of my group trips that I'm doing that relate to that sport that shall not be named.
Oh, you
Um,
can name it. She's a pickleball girl.
I wanna do more with women's travel and with, you know,
Mm,
backpacking and adventure travel, and family travel, so I'm you know, I see other kinds of groups that I would like to be part of and being able to be
yeah.
building experiences with, so
Melinda, I'm wondering if there are things that you can do and create that are in person and local since you've established that you don't really love the online social media component, and I get that. Um, doing mini experiences
Mhm.
in person locally, is that
Yeah,
something
I
you've
mean
considered?
yeah, I mean, that's what I did with the learning center. I brought students all over the place, and it was great, and just, you know, connecting to any type of learning and finding community members and organizations that would tap into that, and that's kind of what I've been doing now with the travel, with the groups, and, you know, with the Sisterhood
Nice.
of Pickleball. I have a group now, the Women in Sports of Turks and Caicos, you know, and it's like this amazing
Yeah,
connection. So
yeah.
those are the
I
types of things I love doing.
I think that so the thing about being a projector is we have to be invited in
Mhm,
order to be successful,
mhm,
but that doesn't mean sit around and wait. So
mhm.
if it feels good for you, I would say get up and get out and do this thing and talk about this thing as you're doing it and what you're learning about and invite people to just be present with you
Yeah,
without without selling them anything, without giving them any information. Because the thing is, we know things about people and we don't know why we know. And if they haven't invited us in, we can't share because that's not going to be received well.
Mhm. Mhm.
So does that feel good to you to like just to find more ways in your real life, in your everyday life to be out and be doing more?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Um, do you have any other questions about the chart or anything related to that?
Um, are the pathways kind of connected? Is there something that might be enhancing another thing in there that I might not know about or
Yeah, let me pull it open. So your emotional wave is directly connected to your root. That tells me that even though even though you don't particularly like it, it feels like maybe that channel's a little bit unaligned. You have what it takes to sit in the pressure. You're naturally designed to sit in that pressure and wait. And the other thing that's interesting in your other two channels are they connect your throat to your G center. So throat is you manifest by speaking things out loud, by putting them out into the world. And you know what? I've got a perfect example of that. You said to me, "Hey, Heather, I think you should know about this retreat facility in Costa Rica." You spoke it out and I
Mhm.
received it. I was invited in, and
Mhm.
now we've created this. So your throat is a manifestation center. We
Mhm.
create things by speaking them into existence. And your G center, your sense of self, you know exactly who you are. You know exactly what your purpose is. It never ever changes or shifts for you. You're defined in your G center. And you are deeply connected to the divine, and it's you. You are the divine. You hold that power. And so your sense of worthiness needs to be rooted in you. And you're here to talk about that, how that will
Mhm.
happen, what will happen once somebody does that. So your experiences that you're creating, whether they're educational or travel or anything in between,
Mhm.
um, the foundation of speaking to how that will create shift so you feel it and then you birth it through your voice will
Mhm.
be incredibly impactful for people.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when my brain goes, "Okay, there's pickleball in Peru, there's river cruise thing with wellness, there's sailing, there's" when it starts to go like that of all these cool things that I'd wanna launch, and then it's, "Oh, but I've only" who's gonna help me? Like, am I doing this? I guess it's just sort of talking about it, getting out there. I'm
Yeah.
currently building my website, those channels that I
Yeah.
have to develop and just seeing how it, comes
Yeah.
back.
Uh, does it feel aligned to you to get out of your house more and out of behind your computer and be doing things and talking to people about these things that excite you in the real world more often?
Yeah,
Because that feels like that could be a really great avenue for you.
yeah. So finding more networking opportunities.
In person, get out of your
Mm,
house, do your thing that you're excited about, explore and learn, and just talk about what you feel passion for, and then the
yeah,
people will show up. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So if you were to say there's one thing now that we've talked about this that you feel like is maybe in your way, preventing you from really showing up for this and riding your wave and trusting yourself, what might that thing be?
Um, the wave thing is hard to know that that's really
Mm,
how the process works. And I think that's almost like what I feel inside, like, okay, get ready, here I go. How am I going to navigate this fluctuation that's part of my process? So to kind of trust to breathe and I've got to maybe take care of myself more. There's a yoga class this evening at 5:45 that I should go to. I need to like get out. That's one of the getting out places, right? And I can talk about the Costa Rica retreat with those people, and that'll all come up,
yeah,
right? So I think it is a lot about me
yeah,
just coming in and being, who I am in the world, and there's
yeah.
interesting things that are happening, and so, sharing those.
And so how would you describe that? You rushing to make a decision, is it isn't necessarily I'm trusting yourself to surrender and breathe and be and just do the thing. What is the negative on that? Like, what are you
I
doing
think it's
instead of that?
well, it's is it follow through? Is it jumping from one thing to the next too quickly? You know, after this
Oh,
meeting, I do have a call with a person from Peru who I'm really excited about. My brother and I are actually going to go hike the Inca Trail in October. And it
wow.
turns out that someone else connected me with this organization in Peru that is pickleball in Peru. But what's exciting about it is they're building programs in schools. And so that's part of my with
Mm,
heart experience. And so when I meet with that person in a little while, you know, I could charge full steam ahead to really develop a really cool trip to Peru. And would that mean I let go of the others? You know, how do I balance all the things I'm doing, right? So, and I
yeah,
obviously am doing something with you with the Costa Rica, and that's, you know, I think what I do, what I have the hardest time with is sort of trusting what I'm doing. So far, the trips that I've built as a travel advisor, the group trips, I've honed in on that right now. It's, you know, the Club Med trips. I've got the formula down, but I don't know that that's my I don't wanna have just that as what I
yeah,
build because that
okay,
experience doesn't quite fit, you know, all the things that are really in my heart. I had the you
okay,
know, so it's launching kind of this new thing really more on my own, and so it's, you know,
okay.
does that make sense? Am I you know, already you can
Yeah,
hear I'm
yeah.
over talking this.
So would it be useful to you if we did some subconscious reprogramming to take you from jumping from one thing to the next too quickly without like fleshing it out versus and moving into trusting yourself to surrender and breathe and see what shows up?
Yeah.
Would that be useful to you?
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
So I have a little resource that we call the swish, and it feels a little bit strange. We literally take the mental image of one thing and swish it into another.
Okay.
Um, is it all right with your unconscious mind for you to make this change today and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, Melinda, when you think of this unwanted state or behavior, how do you know that it's time to jump from one thing too quickly?
Um, how do I know that it's time to do that?
Yeah,
What
how
that
do you
it's
know it's
happening?
time to like, oh, I got to do something else. Oh, I got to try something new. How do you know it's time to take quick action?
In a good way or in the way
No,
that feels
in
no,
the way
okay.
that you don't want. Yeah, how do you know it's
Okay.
time to do that?
I I feel a little anxiety feeling inside my chest, I guess, and my eyes start darting around. Um,
Yeah,
and I don't feel settled. I just feel like I'm uh, ADD, you know, or something, like I'm just
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
moving somewhere. And I'm
yeah,
excited in a way because I think I live, like, in a way that you know, the unknown is sort of an exciting place for me.
yeah. Okay.
I
So when
just
you think
haven't
of that,
yeah.
do you have a clear picture of the way it looks or the way it feels or the way it sounds?
And, you know, I think I'm also abandoning myself when I do that. I think that's what it
Mm,
feels like. I'm
okay.
letting I'm not caring for
Okay.
myself. So I do have
Okay.
a somewhat of a picture of it and a feeling about it.
Okay. So you can pull up visually or kinesthetically feeling wise a clear picture of it. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Great. All right. Let's clear that screen. Let's take that image out. Take your head out. Take your body out. Let's make it go away. Now, how would you like to feel or behave instead?
Hmm. Okay. So I'd like to stay a little calmer, a little more centered, and notice what's happening and stay with something for the duration. Look at all the parts, notice accept it, love it, embrace it, care for
Mm,
it, believe in it.
yeah. How will you be different when that is how you behave?
I'll be more organized. I'll have things in more of a linear kind of fashion, action steps from one thing to the next that are sequential, and I will be able to follow a plan,
Mm.
and I will
How will your
act on
body
those
feel?
things. It'll feel calmer and stronger and more present in the space.
Mm. All right. So when you think of that, do you have a picture in your mind?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and close your eyes and step into that picture. Step into your body, looking through your own eyes. Really connect with that picture. And let's shift it a little bit so that it feels so good. If it's dim, make it bright. If it's still, make it moving. If it's fuzzy, imagine turning a little internal knob and it becomes very clear and crisp. If it's small, blow it up and make it full size. If it's full size, make it smaller. Just move it around until the image feels like the most exciting, wonderful thing that you can ever imagine. You have it? Okay.
Mhm.
Now step out of the picture so that you see yourself in the picture. And you see it, you can see all the things that you're experiencing, watch yourself experiencing them.
Mhm.
Great. Okay, now open your eyes, come back to the room. Let's shake it out again, clear the screen a little bit. Now I want you to bring back that old picture of the behavior that you don't want. Go ahead and close your eyes. Bring back that old image of rushing, of making decisions before you're ready, of not trusting yourself, and step into that picture so that you're fully associated. You're looking through your own eyes. Make it fill the screen completely. Now, in a moment, we're going to do something that's called swish. So I want you to take the picture of the new state of your waiting, your patience, your trusting yourself to surrender and breathe. And I want you to put it in the bottom lower left-hand corner, really small and really dark. So you've got your old pattern is big and the new pattern is small and dark in the left-hand corner. When I say swish, I want you to bring up the new picture and make it explode big and bright onto the screen while the old picture rapidly shrinks to a distant point and just disappears. And it's going to happen as quickly as one, two, three, swish. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Okay. One, two, three, swish. Good. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Close your eyes. One, two, three, swish. Open your eyes. Close your eyes. One, two, three, swish. Open your eyes. Close your eyes. One, two, three, swish. Open your eyes. Close your eyes. One, two, three, swish. Open your eyes. Close your eyes. One, two, three, swish. Open your eyes. Okay, now, Melinda, how do you feel about that old behavior? How's it different?
It's a less it's fading. It doesn't have to be real.
Oh, yeah, okay. So let's go out into the future, which if you had been experiencing this in the past, you would have rushed or not allowed yourself space to breathe. You would have behaved in that old way. What happens now instead?
I'm more present and waiting,
Yeah,
noticing, really listening.
yeah. I love it.
Observing.
Your, physiology shifted as we did that. Like, your skin got brighter, your cheeks got a little bit more plump. Like, I watched your brain subconsciously repattern itself. You can go back and watch the video later. You should watch yourself do it. It's really fascinating. Swish is kind of wild, right? Like, you're like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I don't know how to do it. Is that, I don't know. That's for me, that's how I feel.
Yeah, there's like a lot of imagination that goes on with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love it.
But
That's great.
it- that's a neat
Yeah,
one,
that's
right?
really
Yeah.
it really is. Yeah,
It's one of my favorites.
yeah.
So we'll be bringing that and lots of other subconscious reprogramming tools into the accelerator. If anybody's watching, they want to come hang out. But Melinda, how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I love it, Heather. I mean, really, that was a great visual, and it it's something I can draw upon and I can keep with me, sort of this big eh, massive movie screen in my subconscious, unconscious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
no, it's
I
good.
love it.
It's I like the quickness of it too. It's sort of just
Good. Well, I'm glad you're
good word.
feeling well. Be sure to come back and let me know how things shift and what shows up for you, because I know
Mhm,
um, that you've got it all right there, and getting out and putting yourself out there and experiencing. I think for you, just experiencing all of the things
mhm.
that bring you joy will bring your milkshake will bring all the people to the yard. They'll be like, I got to get a little of that thing that Melinda has. I want in on that.
Mm, okay. Thank you. Mhm.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much for sharing time with me today.
Thank you for this opportunity. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye, everybody.